Hello and welcome to Martyn Lucas Investor. My name is Sensei and today we have a special broadcast. Why? Well, I was going to cover a very important story about the Japan carry trade and how in a couple weeks time there's a 90% chance that they're going to raise rates and what that will mean for the unwinding of the carry trade. It's already happening, but it can increase. However, while I was researching this and while we've been doing shows over the last couple of days, one certain name keeps popping up, and certain ideas keep popping up in the chat about how the reverse carry trade is going to take us to $1,000. It's all absolute nonsense, in my opinion. So let's debunk it all. Let's get into it. We're going to talk about the Japan carry trade. I am going to give you my personal XRP predictions as well. However, we like to research our arguments. We like to provide sources for our arguments. We like to spend hours talking to analysts and researching about the news we put out. And that's why we have our very own newsletter first linked in the description. Go and check it out. We've got the whole deep dive today on the Japan stagflation. We'll come back to stagflation, but let me give you an idea of what's going to come up in this video. We've got someone reporting that Jake Claver has been sued in the last couple years, that he has done some not very good things. He settled outside of court. Very concerning legal documents we have here to show you, and this certain ex-user Levy Crypto Crusaders is saying, should people be putting money with someone who has a past record of fraudulent activity, potentially, allegedly. So we'll look into that a bit more. We've also got Mr. Jake Claver, whatever his name is, refusing to take a bet on. He keeps saying $1,000 XRP. He keeps saying $100 XRP. He said when the XRP ETFs come out, we'll go straight to $100. He said he's still saying 99.9% chance of $100 XRP by the end of the year. He refuses to put his money where his mouth is. We'll look into that as well. A certain analyst said, I'll pay you $1 million if XRP hits $100 in 2025. What did he do? He refused. If you're watching this video and you are just purely following anyone, even if it's me, even if it's Jay, please do some of your own research. How many times does someone have to be wrong for you and for you guys to still continually follow him? This is so dangerous. Why is it so dangerous? Because if I believed in someone who was telling me XRP is going to hit $100 by the end of the year, what would I do? If I really believed it and this person was so convincing, and I didn't use my own brain and I just wanted to follow someone blindly, what would I do? I would remortgage my house, I would sell everything I have, and I would go all in XRP. People are doing that. Don't do that. XRP is not going to hit $100 by 2025. The reverse carry trade is not going to bring all the money on XRP. The ETFs are not going to create a massive supply shock and take it to $100. That's already happened. The ETFs have already come out and we haven't had a $100 ETF. Anyway, we're going to get into all of this in a second. I don't want to get too frustrated. We've got a title here: How XRP reaches $1,000 after the Domino theory. Jake Claver, massive supply shock exposed. We're going to listen to that. $1,000 after the Domino theory. Goodness gracious, what's this Domino theory? We've got a couple people reacting here as well. We'll watch that. We've got Claver forecasting XRP to surge. We've got a new story here. Claver forecasting XRP surge to 1,500 to 2,000 by 2026. On a 57,000% gain as reverse carry trade unwinds and regulations shift. This is absolutely ridiculous. We've got him speaking here. We're going to go here. Anyway, so much to cover. So much nonsense to cover. And remember, what differentiates our channel from anyone else's channel, we are not selling you corporate sponsorships. We're not asking you to invest your money with us. We're not asking you to go and leverage trade. We don't need to sell a narrative of XRP going to $1,000 because it benefits us. It doesn't. It doesn't. We want to be truthful. We don't take corporate sponsorship. All you can do is sign up to our newsletter and become a member of the channel. If you want more news, if you want the real news every day, you can sign up to a newsletter. First link in the description. If you want merchandise, you can go buy a mug with Martyn's face on it or logo on it on the merch store. You want to become a member of the channel and get your comments answered all the time? You can become a member of the channel. You want to watch for free? You can watch for free. We don't take corporate sponsorship. We don't need to sell a narrative that XRP is going to $1,000 because it doesn't benefit us. What benefits us is getting it right. And Martyn's trades, day after day after day, have been right. He grew his portfolio from 5,000 to nearly $250,000 now. So we're right all the time. Look at our trades. Rocket Lab. You can go through all our trades. What we bought XRP last year. What else did we do? Robinhood, Meta, all of them, 1,000%. Dollar Tree recently. All of these trades we've done, 100% gains. We pride ourselves on being right. Again, we never give financial advice. Don't follow our trades. But this person has been wrong and wrong and wrong, and people still support him. It's fine. I'm not coming out to do this live stream or video to make you not support him. I just want you guys to open your eyes. I just want you guys not to lose money. I just want you guys to realize $100 XRP by the end of this year is not going to happen. I'm not coming here to bash this person. I'm coming here to offer you guys an alternative opinion, to start understanding, to start opening your minds up to the fact that this person could be wrong, and that this isn't a guaranteed outcome. And in fact, it's very, very unlikely. $1,000 XRP, forget about it. For now, forget about it. Maybe revisit the idea in 10 years, but for now, forget about a $10,000 XRP. Forget about $1,000 XRP. Forget about $100 XRP until potentially next cycle. Anyway, let's go into the charts. Let's go into the real news. Let's go into what actually matters, which is the Japan carry trade, and then we'll come back to some of these things circulating online. So let's go to our very own newsletter, and what we're going to start out with is the real news and concerning news. The Japan stagflation. We've been covering this for months and months and months, and we finally might have our last rate hike. So Japan stagflation dilemma. Global liquidity. Oh, we've got a special guest on the show.
At Nick Jones 106 donated £1.99 through a super chat. Love a bit of drama in the morning. Face with peeking eye emoji. Popcorn emoji.
Thank you, Nick Jones, for supporting the show. Get the popcorn out. Let's go further into it. But let's start with the real news. So Japan faces a perilous economic paradox that threatens global market stability. Revised data that came out today confirms that the economy is contracting sharply, with Q3 GDP falling 2.3% annualized. Typically, a recession triggers interest rate cuts. However, the Bank of Japan is cornered. It must likely hike rates to defend a collapsing yen that is decimating consumer purchasing power. So interesting. You think, okay, we're heading into a recession, they're going to cut rates. It's actually the opposite, because what's more important for them actually at the moment is to protect their purchasing power and keep the yen stable. So this divergence creates a classic stagflationary trap. As Japan tightens, stagflationary trap, declining growth coupled with rising costs. The ripple effects are global. As Japan tightens monetary policy to save its currency by raising rates, it risks unwinding the massive carry trade, and we're talking trillions of dollars. That's one thing me and Jake can agree on. There is a carry trade unwinding, and there's trillions of dollars riding on it. Where we differentiate is XRP is going to be the Lord and Savior and sort out all the issues and go up while this carry trade unwinds. We massively disagree with that part. So this carry trade obviously is mechanics that provide cheap liquidity to US tech stocks, crypto for years. Remember, everyone's borrowing really cheap money. Sometimes they're being paid to borrow money, and then they're investing it in US stocks, crypto, bonds, and making a fortune. Now that the rates are going up, now that they're deciding they need to pay back their money, and that's the carry trade unwind. That's where Mr. Claver is saying that all the money is going to flow into XRP because it's the only thing that can handle it. Absolutely ridiculous. Investors are now positioning for a liquidity drain that could reshape asset valuations heading into 2026. So, key drivers and analysis. Let's talk about the Japan first and what the GDP tanking, and then we'll go over to some of these XRP specific predictions. So, the headline numbers are ugly, but the underlying mechanics are actually worse. Japan's Q3 GDP revision to 2.3%, negative 2.3%, was driven by two specific structural shocks. First, business investment, the capex, flipped from growth to 0.2% contraction. Corporations are aggressively hoarding cash and freezing spending. This is a defensive maneuver in anticipation of President Trump's proposed 15% baseline tariffs on Japanese exports. Second, the housing sector has plummeted. This is a regulatory hangover. Early in 2025, construction surged to beat strict new clean energy regulations that took effect on April the 1st. Now the market is suffering the payback effect as demand evaporates. This contraction leaves Prime Minister Takeshi fighting a two-front war. She has proposed a massive 17.7 trillion yen stimulus package to restart growth. Yet physical spending cannot fix the immediate monetary crisis. Number two, the Bank of Japan's impossible choice, defending the yen. The central bank logic dictates you not to hike rates during a recession. They're basically in a recession, and a recession would say, don't hike rates. However, there's a bigger problem than the recession. The Bank of Japan, however, has no good options. The yen is hovering near critical levels of 155 per dollar. If the currency weakens any further, import costs for food and energy will skyrocket, crushing Japanese households. Real wages have already fallen 0.7% in October, marking the 10th straight month of decline. Consequently, the market is pricing in a 90% probability of a rate hike in December. I think it's on the 19th we'll get that information. The 18th to the 19th, there's a window, and then obviously on the 19th we'll get that rate hike. We'll cover it live on the show, so please do make sure you are hitting the like button and you are subscribing. We very much appreciate it. It's free. It takes a second. Please do it now. So where were we? Yeah, the global. Yeah, the Bank of Japan is effectively choosing to sacrifice short-term economic growth to prevent a currency collapse. This policy shift is critical for global investors. Nice how you cherry pick certain things that Jake has said. Someone said that in the chat. What do you mean? What else has Jake said? I don't know. I'm picking out what everyone's look. People are messaging me. I'm gonna. I don't understand. Someone's just said I'm cherry picking things Jake has said. Well, of course I am. These are problematic things he's saying. These are the main ideas people are grasping onto. The $100 XRP, the $1,000 XRP, the ETF supply shock, the carry trade unwind is gonna explode XRP. These are the most important things he's saying to retail investors. This is what retail investors are clinging on to. This is what retail investors are messaging me in my direct messages on Substack, on Discord, telling me that they are over leveraged. What do they do if XRP falls below $2? What do I do? Jake told me that we're going to $100 by the end of the year. I can't pay my bills, and XRP is nowhere near $100. I'm paraphrasing here, but these are the things that people are losing out on. These headlines, these things that he's saying, and others are saying. It's not just him. There's this guy called Crypto Sensei. That's why I changed my name from Sensei Crypto. I don't even want to be associated with these people. If you go onto his channel, it's just clickbait after clickbait. So I'm gonna go back to here. I am not here to bash someone. I'm not here to hate on someone. I actually think he's a very clever person. I actually think he's very clever, but I don't think he actually thinks XRP is going to go to $100 by the end of the year. I don't think he actually thinks XRP is going to go to $1,000 next year. I don't think he believes any of the predictions he's making. I still think he's a clever person, and I'm not here to bash him. I'm just here to provide you guys with a different perspective. What is wrong with me coming out here? I'm not here to hate on him. I'm not saying he's an idiot. I'm not saying he's stupid. I'm not saying he's causing people to lose money. Look, I'm coming out here saying, actually, let me provide you with a rebuttal. Let me provide you with my opinion on the matter. Let me give you a different viewpoint so you can go away and do your own research. Goodness. And again, as I always ask, if everyone's in the chat, in the live chat, if you're watching this live, please do just be respectful. We're not here to be disrespectful to each other. We all want one thing. We all want XRP to go up. We just differ on opinion on how quickly it can go up and the reasons it goes up, and we differ very materially. And I do think it's dangerous. Just because I think it's dangerous what narratives are being pushed right now. I wouldn't say that's me hating on someone. I don't think that's me. Yeah. Anyway, let's go back to news. I've just read a comment. Just using his. A lot of haters in the chat say Sensei has thick skin and water off his back. Exactly. Yeah, I don't care. I'm trying to do the right thing. I couldn't care less if people are going to be in this chat hating on me because I'm offering a different opinion. I don't care. And even if some of the members like Jake, great. But also listen to other opinions as well. Don't just listen to one person. Do your own research. And XRP is not going to $100 at the end of the year. And XRP is not going to $1,000 next year. I'm very, very confident in that. But yeah, just long live Jake. Long live Jake. I don't want Jake to die. Long live Jake for sure. Yeah. Hi. The way you make your thing today was too clickbait because you're going after Jake. Yeah, I am going after what Jake says and the narrative that's out there. Of course I am. But I'm not there. I'm not making stupid arguments. I'm going to give you guys a different perspective to their own opinions. Practice what you preach. Yeah, exactly. If he believed that XRP was going to those levels, why did he not take the $1 million bet? I said the other day I don't care for JC on here, and I got timed out for it. No, Frank, we don't block people. We don't do that. This is terrible. Okay, anyway, I knew the comments were going to be outrageous because someone's telling them that their XRP is not going to $1,000 or $100 by the end of the year. Come back in 22 days' time and let me know where your XRP is. Remember, I'm an XRP investor. 80% of my whole portfolio is in XRP. I would love to come out here and say XRP is going to $100. It's not. So now let's go over to the XRP narrative. We've just covered the actual proper news about the Japan carry trade and the new data about the recession that we're in and how it's getting worse and how we're 90% confident now that the rate hike's going to happen and how that's going to cause the unwind that's already happening. But let's now switch over to the XRP narrative, the infrastructure versus speculation. A dominant narrative in crypto space involves a carry trade unwind. I think Jake started this. I might be wrong, but now other people are catching on to this and spewing it out even more. So a dominant narrative in the crypto space involves the carry trade unwind and XRP. The theory suggests that trillions of dollars are repatriated to Japan. Legacy banking rails SWIFT will be too slow, forcing institutions to use XRP as a bridge asset for instant settlement. So what's being suggested is SWIFT is too slow. Legacy banks are not going to be able to deal with the trillions of dollars of flow, and out comes XRP and saves the day on the day that we've got a carry trade unwind in a month, potentially. Here is the reality based on the data. It is factually true that SBI Holdings, because he's spoken about SBI Holdings or others have, a Japanese financial giant, is a major Ripple partner and is actively integrating XRP for cross-border payments and settlements to cut costs. Yes, that's true. XRP is doing that. Others are helping. SBI Holdings is doing that. Evernorth is going to be doing that. That is growing, and that's why I like XRP. However, big but, investors should remain grounded. While the utility case for XRP is expanding, and that's why I'm investing in XRP, via institutional partners like SBI, the idea that the entire carry trade unwind will flow exclusively through crypto rails is extremely speculative and, in my opinion, just wrong and won't happen. We had a carry trade unwind a couple years ago. They managed to deal with it fine without using XRP. Remember, we saw 15% drop in the day. Why didn't XRP get used then? Anyway, here's the reality check. The Jake Claver hypothesis, distinguishing macro fact from influencer fiction. You may have seen viral threads, and this is the part I think is dangerous, because one person says something, everyone starts reiterating it on X. People get clicks because it's exciting story, selling $100 XRP or $1,000 XRP. People start sounding clever because they start using the word reverse carry trade and how XRP is gonna solve this issue straight away. And then everyone starts spewing this narrative. They get clicks. And unfortunately, new retail investors which don't understand XRP and just think crypto is going to solve all the issues of the world, and XRP is the best thing on earth, and it's going to one day flip the switch and carry the reverse carry trade. Those people will put more than they can afford to lose. They'll leverage trade and they'll lose money on XRP. We don't want anyone to lose money. So, you may have seen viral threads from influencers like Jake, claiming that Japan's reverse carry trade will force the global banking system to switch to XRP, potentially sending the token to $1,000 plus. This narrative is dangerous because it takes real economic events. So this is why it's dangerous, because everyone goes, actually, yes, there is real data about Japan's. There's a big carry trade, and that is actually happening, and major news sources are covering it. Japan is raising interest rates, and then it staples a fantasy outcome to it. Absolutely ridiculous thing, in my opinion. To many, I mean, if you talk to any major analyst, you bring out any analyst from a bank and make them sit down on this show today, they will say it is absolute nonsense. The myth. You sit Brad Garlinghouse next to me, and I asked him, is this carry trade unwind going to send XRP to $1,000? He will just go, what are you on about? So the myth is that Claver argues that liquidity flees back to Japan. The SWIFT system will freeze because remember, all that money has to come back. I think this is his argument. His argument is that the liquidity flees back to Japan. The SWIFT system will freeze or be too slow to handle the capital flight. He claims that the liquidity crunch will force central banks to bypass fiat channels and use XRP as the neutral bridge asset. So all of that is going to happen in a day. One day, they're going to wake up and go, we need to change all our systems and get prepared for XRP because our liquidity can't handle this. How the hell will they do that in a day? This is not possible. So bypass fiat channels, use XRP as the neutral bridge asset to settle trillions instantly, triggering a supply shock that drives prices to astronomical levels. And here's the failure in that. This theory collapses when tested in a real-world crisis mechanics. And where's the proof? Let's go back to August the 5th. August the 5th proof point. We do not need to guess what will happen. It's already happened. We don't need to guess what will happen. We don't need to make predictions on what will happen. It's happened already. The yen carry trade unwound. If you go back to August the 5th, 2024, the carry trade unwound then. Yes, there's more to come, but it did already unwind then. We saw what happened in a day. When the Bank of Japan raised rates, triggering massive global sell-off, institutions did not panic buy crypto. They did not panic buy XRP. XRP did not go up. Instead, they engaged in a flight to safety, rushing to US treasuries and US dollar. So let me be clear. If the carry trade unwinds, crypto will go down. People will move away from risk and go into risk-off assets. XRP will not be an outlier. The real bridge. When funding markets actually dry up, central banks do not use volatile digital assets. They're not going to suddenly go, actually, we're going to use XRP. They will use Federal Reserve swap lines. These are established, unlimited liquidity facilities that allow central banks like the Bank of Japan to access US dollars directly from the Fed. In a crisis, banks trust these treaty-level arguments, not unproven commercial token. They're not going to suddenly test XRP and use it on the day. They haven't even tested the Federal Reserve hasn't even tested XRP yet. How are they going to suddenly just decide one day to use XRP? If they're going to use XRP, they'll go through years of trials. They'll go through years of debates. They'll go through years of sandbox exercises. And then they might start rolling it out slowly. They're not going to wait for one major event and at the worst possible time go, actually, we're going to deploy XRP, a volatile digital asset we've never used before. So, the scale mismatch. Um, the math required for XRP to settle these flows is impossible under current market conditions. Tiny bucket, giant hole. The global foreign exchange market handles roughly 7.5 trillion in volume per day. XRP's current market cap is about $120 billion. The liquidity does not equal the price. Even if XRP rose to $1,000, it would not magically create liquidity depth enough to um, needed for institutional settlement. So even if XRP's price goes to $1,000, the liquidity won't be there to handle this amount of transactions. A high token price does not mean there's enough buyers and sellers to absorb trillion-dollar sell orders without crashing the market. Institutional FX markets rely on deep pools of fiat liquidity for 99.9% of volume. They cannot bridge trillions through a token that holds a fraction of the value in its entire order book. Look, let me just make one thing clear. I have not watched every single one of Jake Claver's videos. I have not researched every one of his statements. I have not looked into what he's saying. So I might be wrong about a couple of things he said. I might be wrong about how he's framed things. However, it does not matter at all because this is the narrative that's making people lose money. This is the narrative that's on X. This is the narrative that's covered by other news organizations. This is the narrative that I've seen in a couple interviews. And if that's a narrative that I've come away with a few hours of research, that is dangerous because people lose money based off these narrative. So even though I might have got one thing wrong or this thing wrong, or he didn't say exactly this, or I haven't listened to 20 hours of his videos, I don't have time to listen to people that could essentially be pushing these narratives and constantly talk about XRP being $1,000 or $100 because I think it's dangerous. So, pure disclaimer, I might have got a couple things wrong. However, it doesn't matter because this is the narrative that's being pushed out everywhere. And it's all because of what he said. And if that's the narrative that's being pushed out everywhere, there is something fundamentally wrong about what he's saying. NASDAQ president moving to XRPL, false. XRP is the only commodity, false. Bitcoin's also. Margin calls force XRP adoption, false. Margin calls demand cash, not crypto. XRP to $750 by December 31st, impossible. Some of the things he might have said, some of the things he might not have said, he might have said, this has to happen, this has to happen, this has to happen, this has to happen, this has to happen. We'll go over to some of the things he said, but we'll come back to carry trade unwind because it's actually a very important story. But let's just go over to some of these things. Let me just play this here.
For XRP in its situation where it's really the only thing that has enough clarity to be adopted at scale when the reverse carry trade unwinds and there's a rotation. We have all these.
How does XRP have anything to do with the reverse carry trade? How? In what world will XRP come and save the day? I mean, I'm listening to what he's saying right now.
ETFs ready to go live. You got ISO 20022 and the messaging standard going live for the bank Saturday, November 22nd. Just happens to coincide with all these ETFs also going live this week and next. Interesting to me. Again, watching for oil to spike and then give them a scapegoat or a way out for the Bank of Japan to not be the bad guy for raising interest rates aggressively and causing the unwind. I think you're going to see stable coins issued for internal settlement at banks. I don't think we're going to have peer to peer. You'll have USDC and some others that are slowly adopted over time by the population. But I think for the back end settlement for banks and interbank settlement, absolutely going to see stable coins here at the end of this year and early next year. Tokenization of stocks, probably mid to late next year, was the timeline that was given at Swell. And then you're going to have money markets and tokenized deposits and a lot of other things that are going to provide liquidity to people in real time, trading in and out of, or access to capital real time over the weekends and overnight. I think either at the end of this year or early next year also, with the implementation of distributed ledger technology and
how all of that sort of plays out and vibrates through them. Crypto, Jake, if you people a quick shout in regards to where to go, where to find you, where to find out about your family office. You do a lot. So let's get people
real time over the weekends.
One part
and
I want to play. Let me see if I find it.
I think using interest rates aggressively. We have all these ETFs ready to go live. A silver lining for XRP used in a systemic crisis. because of the lawsuit. So I think the Clarity Act is going to get pushed into early next year with the government shutdown and
Area and more globally.
so next year with the government shut here at the end of 25, and that leaves it. I just don't know that they're going to be able to get that across the line, because of the lawsuit. I think it's actually going to become a silver lining for XRP in its situation where it's really the only thing that has enough clarity to be adopted at scale when the reverse carry trade unwinds.
Yeah, that's the main point. It's the only thing that can be adopted at scale when the reverse carry trade unwinds. XRP is not going to be adopted at scale when the reverse carry trade unwinds. You can ask any economist, any analyst, any person in the Bank of Japan. XRP is not suddenly going to be not tested by the Federal Reserve and suddenly be implemented and suddenly go to $1,000. That's not how it works, and that's completely false, in my opinion. We go over to titles like this, and this is dangerous titles. Claver forecast XRP to surge to $1,000 to $2,000 by 2026 on 57,000% gain as reverse carry trade unwinds and regulations shift. We've got news stories here about ridiculous price targets, and then we've got people reacting to what Jake Claver says like this as well.
Substantially. So with that, there will be a global credit call across all markets and a liquidity crisis. So, don't be caught with pants down. Hopefully you guys aren't leveraged up, but hopefully you're in the right assets and positioned well.
So here's what happens after this. As soon as that global credit call comes in, and Jake's saying that it could happen in the next 24 hours. And again, I'm hoping he's right. It's going to cause a lot of pain if he is. Basically, everybody's going to get margin called at the same time. And it's going to happen, say, on the weekend or maybe during a U.S. holiday when the markets are closed. And all of that need for liquidity is going to be locked up, and there's not going to be any way to do it. So they're going to have to do emergency actions in order to settle in real time on the back end of the stock market. Now, the president of the NASDAQ just said she's planning on working with Ripple to do real-time settlement over the XRPL for the stock market at that point in time.
Nope,
so when they start to do that settlement, the only clear cryptocurrency at this point in time is XRP that has legislation or a regulatory compliance, because it's the only one that's officially a commodity, because Clarity Act hasn't passed yet. So what Jake is saying is XRP is going to be used as the liquidity to settle everything on the back end of the stock market. Timo, you were talking about, let's revalue gold. Let's do everything we can to fix this problem, but they're going to need to do it fast. They're going to need to do it quickly and in real time.
Revalue gold?
Jake is basically saying that once this happens, and he's calling it happening before the end of the year, and we're kind of seeing that line up. Again, not funny.
They're saying that Jake is saying it's going to line up before the end of the year.
Financial advice, this is just the stuff that's going around from him. He says we're going to see a $750 XRP before the end of the year.
What?
So do the math.
They're literally saying this is the things that are going around from Jake Claver. I think they believe it as well. They're pretending that they believe it. $750 XRP by the end of the year. Are you crazy? This video was put out a couple weeks ago. So they were close to December, and they were still calling for a $750 XRP by the end of the year. If anyone believes XRP is going to be any higher than potentially $5 by the end of the year, please go and study the markets.
But it's going to cause a lot of pain, a lot of pain. He's saying gold's going to go down to 2,000. We're going to see 50% drawdowns across the entire market. It's going to be painful, but the only thing that's going to rise up, God candle, after that is going to be XRP. So anyway, that's the theory.
The only thing that's going to rise up and have a God candle is XRP. Well, if there's people in the chat saying I should have done my homework, I'm wrong. Just wait. Should we wait another 22 days and then I'll be right? I don't understand. What are you waiting for? You think XRP is going to hit $100, $750, $1,000 end of the year? What are we waiting for?
Market, these assets, you have total supply, you have circulating supply, and you have available supply. And so if you're looking at available supply, like we talked about earlier, it's really not that much in comparison to the total or circulating supply of XRP. And if you want to go back, Robbie Mitchnick actually put out a calculator, who is the head of digital assets at BlackRock for a period of time, that showed that XRP would work, really well at $10,000 per XRP. And you might go, okay, well, the market cap is astronomical at that point. That just doesn't make sense. And in the context of...
It doesn't. and it won't go to 10,000. Next one, here we go. We've got Watch Guru saying, "I'll pay you what?" Okay, here's the icing on the cake for you, all of you Jake fans. Why didn't he take the deal? Why didn't he put his money where his mouth is? Someone said, "I'll pay you 1 million if XRP hits $100 in 2025." Didn't take on the challenge. Here we go. Let's go to the story. So, if XRP reaches $100, you will get 1 million. Analyst challenges the other. Jake Claver, analyst and founder of Digital Acquisition Group, has long been predicting that XRP is on its. This is not me writing this. This is other news. This is Watch Guru writing this. Has long been predicting that XRP is on its way to reach $100 by the end of 2025. I think everyone can agree in this chat that he said $100 XRP many times by the end of the year. But unlike other predictions, he was caught off guard this time with around a $1 million bet. Cryptocurrency analyst Levi Crypto Crusaders directly challenged Claver's forecast with a $1 million wager. He also urged him to accept the bet. Put your money where your mouth is what he said. The community member also joined in on the bandwagon, questioning Claver's 100 XRP by the end of 2025 prediction. Levi made sure that he was ready to pay the $1 million to Claver if his $100 prediction turned out to be accurate. So he said, "Okay, here's a bet for you, Jake. If XRP hits $100 by the end of 2025, I'll pay you 1 million. If it doesn't hit it, you pay me 1 million. You game? It's time to put your money where your mouth is. Like and repost so he sees it. If Jake dodges this bet, it proves my point. Jake Claver doesn't believe what he says." And I think that. My personal opinion is, I don't think he believes half the things he says. I think he's a clever person, but I don't believe he believes what he says. I genuinely don't think he believes what he says. I genuinely don't believe he thinks when the carry trade unwinds, XRP will be used. I genuinely don't believe he thinks XRP is going to hit $100 anytime soon. I genuinely don't think he thinks $1,000 XRP is coming anytime soon in the next 10 years. That's what I think, and that's what many people think. So his prediction, he has predicted multiple times that XRP will hit thousands of dollars per coin by year end. So I'm being generous. These are people. Everyone's saying he's predicted $100 XRP, $1,000 XRP, but for some reason, some people in the chat are saying he hasn't. Jake has a $750 bet now. I'll take on. I mean, I don't have $1 million, but I'll put a bet against Jake Claver. Okay, so the simple bet. So the bet is simple. If there we go, that's the bet. If Jake dodges this bet, yeah, we've covered that. Okay. Other headlines, of course, we've shown you this. Top CEO says, "I'll take XRP for $1,000 as warns." Kiyosaki warns traditional markets are about to deflate. Jake Claver, CEO, has again suggested that XRP could reach the $1,000 mark. The outlook became in response to Robert Kiyosaki's latest macro warning after Kiyosaki declared Japan's historic carry trade era is over. Let's see if we've got his. "I'll take XRP for $1,000." That's Jake's direct quote. I think he replied to that post saying, "I'll take XRP for $1,000." The remarks affirm his belief that XRP's price could soar to 4 digits territory despite or even because of a global financial stress. I don't know how much more clear I can make this. XRP will not go to $1,000 because there's a global financial crisis. It's not going to happen. And anyway, let's go over to maybe something that's a little bit more concerning. But again, I haven't done my own research, too much on my own research. I don't want to spend too much on this. It's just because you guys keep talking about this over and over again in the chat about Jake, and I just want to do a quick amount of research. So I've just pulled out a few things. This is Levi, and this is what he said. He said, "I think XRP community deserves transparency," and I absolutely agree. I think more people should cover this. I think more people should have different views, and I think more people should not just follow one person. Unfortunately, many people I've talked to aren't fully aware that Jake Claver was involved in some shady business. He was sued because he forged some documents. He admitted fault and he settled outside of court. The reason I mention this is many people who have sent money to Jake. People send money to this guy? But oh right, yeah, okay. The reason, look, I'm not gonna tell you what to do with your money. You can choose what you do with your money. But me personally, I would not send my money to anyone. I would keep it in my own ledger. I'll keep it under my own storage. I would certainly not trust someone that's potentially had issues in the court before. The reason I mention this is as many people who have sent Jake money and have trusted them with their XRP have no idea that this has happened. So here you go. Let me tell you. Let's read further. If you know this happened and you decide to trust him with your money, that's your choice. I hope it all works out for you. And here's the evidence. You can see the court listing over here. This is Vervend Incorporated versus Claver. I think he bought a domain and he was acting as if he was them. I don't know the full details. Let's see if we have any more details here. Final note, I just found out about this yesterday after I challenged Claver to a bet. Many people came forward to me in the DMs. I think people should start asking more questions because I think there is more to the story. Is there more to the story? I think there is as well. If we want XRP to lead the future of finance, accountability has to start from inside the community too. Yes, true. Please just ask questions. There's nothing wrong with asking questions. Everyone in the Beyond Broke community, I think that's his community that he charges for, is already aware of this. If you found about, so this is what some of you who are watching this might say. If you just found out about this yesterday, then where have you been? This isn't new information. I found out about this yesterday as well. I don't follow this guy, but a lot of you do, so I feel like it's my duty to give you more information. He says, if you guys invested your money knowing he was committing wire fraud, then that's your choice. It's your choice. I certainly wouldn't trust someone like that with my money. Neither would I. Peter says, please explain why his customers have any reason not to trust him or the company that he represents. He says, it's up to you if you want to trust him or not. Personally, I do not trust someone who alters or forges financial documents in order to fool people. This was only a few years ago, or a couple years ago. I wouldn't either. And then someone goes, it's a little more complex than trademark infringement. The guy created an email domain to make it look like he worked for Vervend so that he could screenshot fake wire transfers to another party, acted surprised when transfers didn't go through, and dragged the lie out for weeks. And you can pause this and have a read of this. Defender Claver admits that the registered domain vervens.support and controlled the email address associated with that domain. Defendant Claver further admits that he sent emails to third parties with images of the purpose of purported wire transfers approved by Vervend and blamed Vervend for delayed or failed wire transfers. Defendant Claver further admits that he fabricated purported wire transfer confirmations and conversations between himself and Vervend that never occurred. Defendant Digital Assertions admits it had accounts with Vervend. Defendants deny the remaining allegations of paragraph 3. So I guess there's a bit more to the story as well. And then that sounds very concerning to me as well. So let's bring it back to the carry trade. Let's bring it back to what matters. And look, okay, there's all sorts. The $50,000 XRP, it's false, it's misleading. The BlackRock XRP ETF claim, the XRP filing, the XRP ETF 2023 had a Delaware filing. Bloomberg came out and said it was fake, and then it swept under the rug. We never had a BlackRock come out and say the ETF filings was fake. It's false. BlackRock did deny it. They came out and said it was false. 50,000 XRP price, impossible. XRP's BIS tier 1 asset is false. BlackRock never denied filing. It's a lie. Ripple stock to $250, false, not happening. XRP to $1,000. The Jake Claver versus Robert debate at the end of the Japan carry trade. It's just, I think it's ridiculous. All sorts. I don't like. And the reason I don't like any of it is not because I might not be picking up on every detail he said and I might have said things wrong. So again, go do your own research. It's because this is the narrative that's now being pushed out. And this narrative that's now being pushed out that started with him, I think, and other people like Crypto Sensei, or that's why I changed my name, because I don't want to be associated with people like that, is dangerous because people will listen to this and go, if and I would be the same. If I believed what he said, and if I believed XRP is going to $100 by the end of the year, and I believed XRP is going to $1,000 in 2026, or when the right things fall in place because of the reverse carriage, if I believed it and I didn't have and I didn't have, sorry, I'm just sending a link to someone, to Martyn, I think he's calling in, and if I didn't have this the knowledge I have and that years of research, and I was new to crypto, and I listen to that, I'll go, wow, crypto, a new thing. XRP seems to be the best. Crypto can move so fast. $100 XRP is going to solve all the money problems in the world. I'm going to buy. Actually, I'm going to leverage trade. Actually, I'm going to sell my house. Actually, I'm going to remortgage my house. Actually, I'm going to do this. If I'm going to get $100 XRP, I'm going to do crazy things. And unfortunately, people think like that. And unfortunately, I am pretty sure, and I actually have evidence that people have lost money because of certain actions like this. Certain people coming out and saying things like this. And that's why I'm doing this. I didn't want to do this. I don't want to talk about other people. The reason I'm doing this is to provide an alternative opinion. Yes, even if it is clickbaiters, the clickbait originates from him. It's from him, what he says. We've showed you interviews. I'm reading a comment now. This is all because of clickbaiters. I've literally showed you in videos what he said. And if he's saying that and it turns into these clickbaits, it's his fault. It's his fault. So again, I don't want to just come out and just say random things. I wanted to give you a different perspective. I want people to watch this channel to win. I want people to subscribe to this channel because we only provide you the real news. I want people to sign up to newsletter because the newsletter gives you the real news every single day, the 5 things you need to know so you can get better prepared for the market. And if you still like Jake, you're welcome on this channel. But please be respectful. Please ask questions. Please be part of the community, but be respectful. And maybe over time you'll realize what the true meaning of investing is. And now I'm going to bring Martyn onto the show. And Martyn, again, he grew his portfolio from 5,000 to 500,000 in less than 5 years through real trade, not by hopium, not by thinking XRP is going to go to $1,000. Let's bring Martyn on the show. Let me bring him over here. Why? There we go. Martyn, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Sensei. What a show. Can't believe it. Listen, folks, I've been paying close attention to this, listening with great interest in Sensei's event this morning and reading all the comments. Sensei, if you can go for another sort of 5-10 minutes, if you don't mind, I'm just setting up my reaction to this. I am going to respond to what Sensei has been saying, and might surprise you, but to join me straight after this. Sensei's been very polite, actually. I'm not going to be so polite. I simply just don't care, quite frankly. And we're going to have some fun this morning on the show. And I'm going to give you the evidence and the facts and explain exactly why I'm about to say what I'm about to say. So do join me. Short to say, though, we do every single day. I receive emails offering me $30,000, $40,000, even $50,000 sponsorship deals. I turn every single one down. I'm quite happy, actually. In fact, I will do it because there's nothing more helpful than being transparent. So what I will actually do is I will actually show you some of these emails that I get. I'll put it all together, and I'll show you every day. I must get 100 emails offering me money to sponsor projects, all kind of stuff. And when I spoke to Sensei and put this show together, and brought Sensei into it, everything that we do has to be value and respectful of your time. So yes, we have a newsletter. Sensei mentioned it, and yes, we have. You can buy mugs and T-shirts. These are all things you can have if you want to. It supports the channel, it does. But let me be absolutely clear. What supports this channel, what supports my portfolio, is good, sound investing. A few moments ago, I just bought some more good old boring.
I can't believe this.
Coca-Cola. We've just got
At Yeston04 has become a member.
Thank you very much indeed.
With the troll emoji.
I'll turn that off for a minute. I'll turn my alerts off. They're going to come over over Sensei's in a minute. So anyway, I'll go live after Sensei's broadcast. So keep going another 5-10 minutes, Sensei, and I will explain some more to you. I'm not going to be so polite. Sensei has been very, very nice, very, very polite. I'm not going to be so much because we genuinely care, and I'll explain and prove what I'm saying, and I'll show you the emails that I get, not on today's video live stream, because I need to put them all together, because otherwise I'll be showing my personal email and so on, but I will show you all of it. So thank you for tuning in this morning. The conversation has been great. This will all make a lot more sense as well when if you join me. I won't bang on about it too long, but I think it's important because we genuinely care about our audience. And all good play to Sensei this morning for covering this. And this is the world we live in, sadly. And hopefully, I'll put some light on it when you join me in a moment. Sensei, this is the first time I think you've done a stylish show like this. What does it feel like? The chat is
I don't like it.
Pretty
I
wild.
don't, it's awful. Like this, I don't like being sat here and then looking at the chat and people calling me all sorts of things. But I genuinely think it was the right thing to do. People started mentioning him more and more on the channel, and as you said, we care about the people that watch this channel, whether they're subscribers, members, passing by, and we feel a duty to these people that, even though we don't give financial advice, we still feel a duty to the people that watch us. So when I start seeing people messaging me about, is there going to be $100 XRP, $1,000 XRP? I think this is happening. Jake Claver seems like a very clever person. I'm listening to him. It concerns me because I don't think it's right for someone to come out and say, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, and create all these narratives that people lose money. And I don't want to see anyone lose money. And I just want to give that perspective that actually this is pretty much nonsense. Most of it anyway. So it's not nice to have all these people saying these things, but I think it's the right thing to do. So that everyone understands maybe the truth behind it all.
It's very dangerous, and I believe he does custodian as well, where he holds your crypto for you. Is it something like that? Is that right?
That he does like that, yeah.
You pay a fee, and I don't know why anyone would need that, but anyway, I'll be live in a minute after you. And I will give another perspective to this. I won't bang on about it too much because we're here for investors. We're not here to sell anything. You can watch for free. You don't have to be a member. The newsletter, you can get a free plan. Our training courses are provided for free in the newsletter. It's not something you pay for. I'm not going to ask you to send me any money. I don't want money. And I'm trying to hold back the most important part. Otherwise, it'll be pointless me going live. But join me after this. And it's a story state of the world. But needless to say, when we get the yen carry trade, which we are, it's already happening. When it amplifies and speeds up, XRP isn't going to come along like a white knight and save the day and be the only coin that transfers everything. And Jake knows, and if he doesn't know, then I don't know what he's talking about, but he knows. We all know he knows, and it is what it is. I think people just want to hear a good story. It makes them feel good. We've analyzed this for the last 4 years, especially in the crypto space. It's why there are only scams in the crypto space. No one ever tried to scam me out of a share of the S&P 500. It's funny that it's always around crypto because it's something that people can, people that don't have a clue what they're talking about can get into, and it's got a cult-like following. It's not a cult-like following buying the S&P or Coca-Cola, is it? So anyway, Sensei, I'll hand it back to you. Great job. Well done for covering this story. I think it's important. Many of our viewers might say, why are we covering all of this? But it is important because people are misled. And we know that there are people pretending to be me and you who every day attempt to rip people off. And we know this is happening all the time. And it's important to call it out when we see it. But I'm going to back it up and prove it and show you the evidence in a few seconds. And you can judge me for what you want. Sensei, thank you for picking up. If you can just go another couple of minutes, I'll have it set. And good luck to you, mate. Thank you for what you do. It comes from a good place. Cheers, mate.
Thank you very much. I look forward to your show. Bye-bye. Okay. Brilliant. It was great to get Martyn's perspective, and I look forward to hearing what Martyn has to say. And as he said, look, we only do the reason we're live, and the reason I joined Martyn is because we want to help our viewers. We want to provide knowledge. We want to provide you with real news. We want to make sure you win. We don't want to spread fake news, hopium, or we could make a lot more money by taking random, or Martyn we could make a lot more money by taking random sponsorship crypto projects. We could make a lot more money by every day coming out and saying XRP is going to hit $100 and then making up some stories and saying this is why it can happen, but we don't. And it's because we don't actually care about the money too much. Martyn certainly doesn't. And we actually care about you guys. We want to make sure that you win. We want to make sure that we provide the best service. We want to make sure that we have the best news. We want to make sure that we are open, transparent, honest. We want to make sure that no one gets scammed, no one gets hopium. We want to make sure people win, and we want to make sure people understand the power of compound interest and the power of just investing in yourself, the power of investing in the S&P 500, the power of just having a little bit of crypto on the side, the power of all of that growing over a long period of time. It's not a get rich quick scheme. Anything, if you make money quickly, if XRP went to $1,000 tomorrow, you'll lose it just as quickly. It's not about getting money quickly. It's about the journey. It's about how you get there. It's about the blood, sweat, and tears along the way. Let me go over to your comments now. Let's see. Oh God, I'm going to regret doing this. Here we go. Let's go over to the live chat. Fire away. We're open to everyone. Ask your questions, and then in a couple minutes' time, we'll go over to Martyn. Here we go. If $100 happen, will you say sorry? Will I say sorry if $100 happens? It's not going to happen. It's not $100. It's not going to happen by the end of the year. It's not. It's not. It's not. I don't have to say sorry. It's not going to happen. Oh wow, Martyn made 30% on investment. That's not something to brag. This is the crazy thing. This is the crazy world we live in. 30%. Someone just said Martyn made 30% on his investments. That's not something to brag about. Firstly, he doesn't really brag about it. Secondly, he should brag about it all day long. 30% a year in the S&P 500. He's beaten Warren Buffett. He's beaten the S&P 500 itself. He's beaten hedge funds. He's beaten literally 99% of the market. That is incredible. If you're not happy with 30% returns year on year, you don't understand the power of compound interest. You don't understand the power of investing. It's not all about 200% returns every year and get rich quick. It's about investing in yourself, going out working, putting money away into the stock market. If you want to take on extra risk, you buy some crypto. If you want to take on extra risk, you might trade it. And then building it up and watching it compound over years. It's not about finding a get-rich-quick scheme and tomorrow you make $1,000 because someone says you will and you won't make it and then you'll get liquidated, this, that, and the other. So yeah, 30% is extremely impressive. Chris Carpenter, that was not helpful at all, especially with no research. What do you mean? I literally showed you videos of what he said. I literally showed you what the outcome of what he says. It's not even about what he says at the end of it. It's what the outcome of what he says is. And we saw the exact output because we saw the newsletter, the news articles. We saw what other people discovered. We saw that he went to court because of something he did. We saw that he settled outside. We saw some very concerning things. So what do you mean? The research was there. I don't need to research. That's all I need to see. I've seen enough. I don't even want to go any further. I have seen enough. You have never replied to me, Martyn. Only replied once or twice. Oh, Brian, you no longer a member. What's happened? That's surprising. I know people don't like to hear that XRP is not going to go to $10 by the end of the year, but it won't. David says why people need to understand that XRP. What people need to understand is that XRP goes to some of these insane predictions. There isn't enough money in the world to settle. There's not even enough money in the world to get it to these predictions. Yeah, exactly. Luck stays. Jake says XRP will not go up only with the carriage. Yeah, no. He says it goes up because the ETFs get. I saw a video of him saying XRP ETFs, once they launch, will get $12 just because, or $100 just because of the shock. The ETFs have launched. Where is the $100 XRP? How many times does it need to be wrong? Jake says, sorry, I won't respond to you because you're not a member. Explain. We prioritize members. Of course we do. If people are paying to be part of this family, well, they're paying for a service, and that service is we prioritize members' comments. And sometimes we have members-only videos, and we've got members-only events, and trivia shows, and perks and benefits, and priority replies. But you've just commented, and I've just replied to you. When we can, we've replied to everyone. 10 years ago, Bitcoin was $388 each. Incredible. Yeah. Maybe Jake is trying to drum up his business. Nobody should give outrageous numbers like thousands of dollars. I would die for $10. I mean, yeah, this is what I keep trying to say during this bull market. A $10 XRP would be incredible. The returns from 30 cents to $10 in a few years. Oh my God. That's the best investment out there. But people are not happy with $10. They want more and more and more, greedy, and want to make money overnight. It's not how it works. Robbie says maybe Where were we? Du-du-du-du-du. Oh, 39% on the S&P 500. There we go. Yeah, not 30%. What are you on about? 39%. Thank you. On the S&P. Yeah, there you go. 39. For me, that's absolutely. I mean, 30% is incredible. 39%. Oh my God. That's why I've resisted social media platforms. Yeah, be very careful with X and the narratives being pushed out there. Superman wears Sensei crypto underwear. Thank you, Brian Bynum. And look, guys, if you support Jake Claver, you are welcome on this channel. Just please broaden your view. Don't just listen to one thing. If you're watching this and you're going, actually, he was wrong about that. Maybe he's wrong about this. Does it actually make sense about the Japan carry trade? Increase your knowledge. What we do with the newsletter, we put 7 hours of research into a 10-minute read. You understand what's going on in the markets. Start watching this channel. Consider becoming a member. Just start understanding the real life of investing, not the get-rich-quick scheme overnight. It's fine. You support Jake, brilliant. Just know that $100 XRP is not coming. $1,000 XRP is not coming. $100 any time soon. And then start investing in yourself. Start making money. Start looking at sound investments, and then have a little bit of XRP on the side. And also start watching the channel so you understand a bit more. There's nothing wrong with supporting Jake. It might just take some time for you guys to realize that maybe you're new to crypto and you don't understand it all quite yet. And it's not all rainbows like you might think. Get Jake on the show, Sensor, and have a business-like conversation with Jake. I don't even want to have. I don't even want to have a conversation with him. I think we've done it. I think after today, I don't even want to talk about him again. To be honest, I'm not saying he's an awful person. I think some of his actions have caused people to lose money, which is obviously not. I don't like. Or some of the things he said. I don't like this news about this court thing that's happened. I wouldn't personally send him any money. It's my opinion. Why would I do that? I would just keep it myself and put it on the ledger. But I think all I needed to do is just a lot of people were addressing him and saying, bringing a legitimate issue, which is a carry trade, and making it about XRP. And I just wanted to just cover it so people understand that it's probably nonsense. And if you don't, then hopefully over time you will. Maybe by the end of the year, when XRP is not $100, you will come back to this channel. 30% in a year is 90% levels of winning. Well done. Yeah, exactly. Sensei, did you do the liquidity math and look at the DTCC like I mentioned the other day? Interested in your math. It's all about, you can't just make, look, I can make XRP be $1 million if I just put 40 figures on a page and say, if this happens, this happens, this happens, this assumption, this assumption, this assumption, this assumption. It's not how the real world works. You can make numbers anything you like with any assumption. It's not how the real world likes. I will have a look at DTCC and whatever the regulations are now on that, but I'm not gonna sit down and do maths and say if this happens, that happens, this happens, this happens. Clowns in the comments. Martyn is not an investor, he's a day trader, says Chris Carpenter. Did anyone see that one of the original early investors of XRP development was none other than Epstein himself? No, I didn't see that. On Jack says 9%. Yeah, I guess 2,000% on Solana and 1,200 on XRP is nothing. There's not going to be a 1,200 XRP. What's going on? 4,000 XRP is an okay amount. Oh, what's an okay amount of XRP? It's all relative to you guys. Look at what he says in context. Don't just pick out a piece of the video to suit your own theology. It doesn't matter. It does. If I'm just talking about the carry trade and then at one point I say, yeah, an XRP could be the one that settles all of those trades and that can take us to $1,000. Who cares what the other part of the video was? I've said that, and there will be headlines based on that, and I've literally said it. Doesn't matter what the rest of the video says. If I've said it, I've said it. I don't get it. Jake has a large company with look, this is oh god. Jake has a large company with an enormous amount of funds under management. He owns the company, but no money passes through him. Cool. Brilliant. Doesn't make him the most trustworthy person on earth. Doesn't make him right just because he has a enormous company and whatever he spews out. Ninja Cowboy says, good on Martyn. I mean, I only went up 17% this year. I'm not complaining because it's green, but Martyn did great. Yeah, 17% is brilliant as well. Congratulations. This is what real investors are happy with. Anything above inflation. Anything above inflation is brilliant. I guarantee you, most people that follow Jake blindly are losing money. Maybe not this year, maybe because XRP's had a good next year, end of the year. People that are leveraged, they've lost money. Real investors in this chat are happy with anything above inflation because that's the goal. The goal is not to make horrendous amounts of money. It's about to keep your money growing and not being wasted away with inflation. Where was it? I got into crypto because of Jake Claver getting hyped up and the hopium of XRP going to mood. Then this channel slapped me in the face and brought me back to planet Earth. Thanks for this channel. Steve Buffett. I love that comment. I love it. And I hope people follow through because this is the world of investing and the world of crypto is not just about hype and hopium. Get out of that world. It's a terrible world to be part of because you leverage trade, you lose your money, you think you're going to the moon. That is a fake world that might happen every 4 years for a very small amount of time with an altcoin season. We haven't really got one this year apart from 2024 December of 2024 when we predicted. Anyway, the world isn't about hopium and XRP going to the moon. You need to be slapped in the face, wake up to reality and understand real investing is anything above inflation is great returns. Keep your money, go out, work and make some money and invest it. Have some, if you want to increase your risk, have some XRP. I love XRP. It's probably too much for my portfolio. But also be slapped into reality and understand that these predictions are wild. Thank you for your realistic criticism and analysis, Sensei. Thank you, Stage Your Life. Okay, cool. I'm not doing the key. I can't understand. I can understand why you would have your XRP. I can understand why you would have your XRP in custody with DWP Sensei, and that is by Q1 2026, you will receive a 4% monthly returns on your minimum deposit of 50k XRP. I don't want a 4% return on my 50k. I mean, soon enough, you'll be able to do that with XRP's DeFi protocols anyway. I'm not taking any counterparty risk on my XRP. If I'm expecting XRP, look, this is ridiculous. If he's expecting XRP to go up to $1,000, why the hell would you care about a 4% return yearly on your XRP? You're getting 1,000% return. Why take the risk of any risk that you're taking with a 4% yield if you're expecting XRP? It doesn't add up. It does not add up. Why would you take a risk to get a 4% yield when you're expecting XRP to go up 50,000%? What? So you can get an extra couple $1 million when your portfolio is worth $1 billion? Doesn't make sense. It is about investments. Look, how many times have we done this? Not many. We had to address our audience losing money. Soon, my year to date on the S&P 500 is now 42%. Oh my god, incredible. That's Martyn. Martyn, so I'm perfect. I don't lose. I won again. Yeah, because it's true. Can we stop talking about Jake? Yeah, we will. I don't want to. I actually hate doing this. Are you against XRP? I love XRP. You're a bad person. Okay, guys. I'm a bad person because I want people to win. I'm a bad person because I want to give everyone a reality check. I'm a bad person because I'm exposing the truth. I'm a bad person because I want people to have the real news and invest in themselves and make money and not think you can get rich overnight. I'm a bad person. Thought you read all members' comments, but you haven't read of anyone today. Bear market capitalism. Sorry, the chat is just rolling. So repeat your question. I'm going through the comments now. I can't normally watch more than a few minutes of Martyn says. Okay, well you're free to do what you like. No more Jake talk. Let's hit the XRP talk. Yeah, we will go back to normal. Silly soul, you're so uninformed. Oh god, I'm not even annoyed about the hate comments. I'm actually like more frustrated for the people because they're obviously like part of a cult and they think that they're going to make money overnight and XRP's hitting $100 and $1,000. No, I feel sorry because if you're taking too much risk, you might get wiped out. Tell me what I want to hear or I'm unsubbing. Yeah, that's the thing. People just, I want to tell me we won't do it. We won't just tell you what you want to hear so you subscribe. We won't do it on this channel and we might grow slower. We might lose subscribers. We might lose revenue, but we won't do it. We're not going to sell ourselves out. And that's why we don't take corporate sponsorship. I mean, that must tell you so much. If we don't take corporate sponsorship, it must tell you so much about this channel. 30,000 deals, denied. Why? Well, because we don't want to be bought out by anyone. We want to have our own voice. We want to be able to say what we want to say. We don't want to be owned by anyone. My year to date on who cares? I invest in Vanguard's ETFs, VSG, Invesco. Okay. Yeah, brilliant. ETFs, low cost ETFs, you'll make more than enough money over time. Bear market capitalist. So basically, you're saying don't listen to Jake, only listen to you. I only follow your trades and lose money. But what are you talking about? Why are you even a member if you say that? I've never, ever, ever told anyone to follow my trades. Just like I won't tell you to go and follow Jake. Don't follow anyone. Go do your own research. In what part of what I said did I tell you to only listen to me and follow my trades? That's literally the thing I keep saying not to do. I keep telling you, have different perspectives, join the channel, understand what we mean about investing, learn about different perspectives, speak to AI, speak to your financial advisor, understand more, and don't follow my trades. That's all I say every day. Learn about different perspectives, don't follow hype. You can't make money overnight, and if you do, you'll probably lose that just as quick. And don't follow my trades is literally what I say every single day. A complete opposite to what you said. Naughty corner right now, Sensei. Thanks, Sensei, for the awesome work. Thank you, Gareth. Really appreciate it. 100 sounds so ridiculous. It is ridiculous because it is ridiculous, and they make it sound normal. It's not normal. You probably thought the same way when Bitcoin was a penny. No, actually, I didn't. First of all, I tried to buy Bitcoin at around $50, but I couldn't because of my age and the verification. Anyway, but we're in a completely different world. Bitcoin at a penny was worth, the market cap was tiny. XRP is already worth 150 billion. You're expecting it to go to, it's going to surpass Bitcoin tenfold if you're expecting it to go to $100. Jake, predictions are way over. Yeah, drama. I just want people to win and understand that $100 XRP is not happening, $1,000 XRP is not possible. Oh God, Jake never talks, but you do. I'm okay, cool. I'm just don't want people to lose. I've got messages about people losing specifically based off these narratives. I don't want that. Okay, Martyn is about to go live. Okay, let me see. Okay, so we're about to wrap up the show and go over to Martyn for his full analysis on this as well. Agree $100 XRP is going to happen. I think it will happen at some point, but 2035, 2030 at the earliest, maybe. $100 end of 2026 now. Stop. Oh God, here we go. Sensei never says bye. Yeah, I don't, Liz, do I? XRP, sooner or later, big jumps are going to happen to XRP. Nobody really knows when or by how much those jumps will happen. What do you think, Sensei? The reason nobody knows when or how or why is because there is no evidence to suggest it. I think over time, XRP will be adopted and it will go up slowly. It's not going to have a sudden carry trade that's going to push it up to $100. The carry trade has nothing to do with XRP. Jake is a reasonable guy, so what if he's been sued? I am thankful for Martyn. Agreed, Brian. $5 end of year possible. Is $5? Yeah, I mean, that's possible for sure. Have a good one, Sensei. But I mean, $5 XRP is very unlikely, but possible. Have a good one, Sensei. Thank you very much, Daddy. XRP people are funny. I miss your XRP mug. We still have the XRP mug. We pay to bring you the logos on martynlucasshop.com. Sensei, keep up the good work. Going to $1 million. You have hurt You have hurt the XRP army's feelings. I love the XRP army. Do you know how much we've done for the XRP army? We've covered the lawsuit. We've been on XRP side. We've done the petition. We love the XRP army. We are the home of the XRP army, but we don't want the XRP army to lose. We don't want the XRP army to be liquidated. There's so much evidence to support this. Okay, cool. Can you? I literally showed you everything in this video. Go back. Can you get sued for having an opinion on someone else's opinion? No, it's just my opinion. I can't get sued. The world's XRP map. Okay, we're gonna end the show. Go over to Martyn. The one thing I suggest everyone does is firstly go over to Martyn. We're going there now. When this ends, you'll go over to Martyn. He'll give you his full opinion. Secondly, just sign up to newsletter. Give it a go. Subscribe to the channels. Hit the like button. Just give us a go and see what real investing, real news is all about. You get a 1 week free trial for the annual plan. It's the first link in the description. It's in the live chat right now. Go and check it out. You get all the news every day. 7 hours of research, real facts in the newsletter. You get your XRP weekly newsletter. You get your budget planner, your debt planner. You get all sorts. You get your technical analysis trading course. All of that as part of the newsletter. We're building and building and building on it. 1 week free trial on the annual plan. Go to sign up for the free plan. Go and check it out. Link is in the live chat. First, just specified 100% done. Okay, anyway, we're going over to Martyn. I hope this has been helpful. And I hope some people now start to realize that some of this is a bit too crazy. I hope I don't have to address this again. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Stay where you are. You're going straight over to Martyn. Bye-bye.